In the book Atomic Habits, James Clear says success is a product of daily habits and not really just a once in a lifetime transformations. And I can say that from my own experience, this is absolutely true. Things like marketing, funnels, and sales pitches can ultimately get you quick results. But if you can develop good working habits, over time, you will become more productive and make more money while ultimately working less, which I assume is your goal if you're watching this video. So I'm gonna talk you through the 5 most important daily habits that have made the biggest impact on our agency clients and their results. So many agency owners ultimately let the kind of day happen to you. They don't really have a plan. They don't really have an understanding of how to decide what is important now and what needs to happen later. And being able to have a clear understanding of how to allow for you to be able to be programmatic ultimately about your day. So being able to take a to-do list and put it in your calendar, break it down into the things that you should not be doing, the things that you should be doing, the things that are going to have impact in your life and in your agency today, and be able to plan it out very closely, detailed into what you should be doing next and exactly how much time you have allocated. And largely, when you have a plan, you're more likely to be able to have success. When you just go into the day with absolutely no plan, you're more likely to get lost in the process. Far too often, we think that we need to sacrifice ourselves, and that in order for us to be able to have success, we have to do more things. And ultimately, we are busy, and we are thinking that we have to just sell 2 more clients, and that if we are able to do that, then we can have what we need, financial resources, in order to be able to hire the person that we need. But realizing that ultimately, as we bring on those 2 new clients, we're going to be more underwater than we are today. And so what I want you to be able to think about here is that in order for you to be able to have the success, you need to focus more and do less. If you are working on lead generation, you don't want to have 4 different channels. Focus on 1, maybe 2 at a push, and do less that ultimately allow for you to have the maximum amount of impact. And this is true across every single thing that you're doing in the business. The vast majority of people, including myself at a time, had the belief that I had to do more in order to have more. But the reality is that I needed to do less in order to have more. It is really truly impossible to know how things are moving along unless we have a clear tracking progress. There was an example in the book Atomic Habits where James Clear is talking about, and I thought this was a great articulation of how to think about this. What he describes is a person in a room. The room is below freezing. It is 30 degrees. And that your objective in the room is to run around as quickly as you possibly can to warm up with friction, warm up the room, and to start melting some ice on the table. You're running around vigorously, not knowing ultimately that you are increasing the temperature. There's no temperature gauge. And so you're running around, not knowing that you actually got the room with friction to 32 degrees, just at the point of freezing. And if you did it just a little bit more, you would know that you are actually getting to that objective of what you wanted to do. But because you do not have a mechanism to track your progress, to understand the impact that you are having, many people ultimately give up. So I want you to focus on the things that you need to accomplish, measure them so that you're able to have a very clear understanding of the progress that you are making and whether you are on track or off track so that you can always course correct. And that is life, is understanding the things that you need to be doing now to allow for you to be able to progress and understanding the impact that you're ultimately having. By the way, if this advice is helpful and you would like more personalized help for your agency, click the link below to book a call or just leave a comment and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. The next thing that I want you to focus on is recognizing that there's so many things that are ultimately starving for your attention. That likely while you're watching this video, I want you to ask yourself how many calls, text messages, screen notifications are you getting? Everything is fighting for your attention. And I want you to quiet them down so that you can actually focus. So there was a McKinsey study that was done that learned ultimately that the vast majority of white-collar workers are distracted for the vast majority of their day. And we, as human beings, do not have the ability to multitask. Yes, this is a known fact. Our brains just do not work that way. And yet we still try all the time. It just makes us less effective. And so what I want you to do is turn off those notifications on all your devices. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb so that you're able to actually focus on the thing that you need to do right now and then move on to the next one. I want you to check your emails, your Slacks, according to your time blocking. In an example of a client at the first phase of having this conversation, he said that this was absolutely impossible. There's no way that he could only check his emails a couple of times a day and his Slack, but he did it because of my advice and ultimately changed his entire world. He said very shortly thereafter that he was able to have lunch away from his computer for the first time, that he was able to end his day at 5 o'clock and spend more time with his family, able to get more work done and start to get the dust off of those projects that had been sitting there forever because he was able to focus. Just this one change alone has incredible amounts of impact. So as an agency owner, you want to be better, you want to grow, but you ultimately do not invest into yourself the amount that you should. It'd be akin to the idea of you're looking at the stock market and recognizing how much it increased, but you never actually invested into stocks and you're upset about the fact that you did not make money. So I read a lot, and maybe even too much. And I'm doing it to invest into myself. It makes me a better husband, a better friend, a better brother, a better entrepreneur, a better mentor, a better consultant. It makes me a better human because I'm actually spending time to invest in me, which is one of the most important investments that I could possibly make. This could be a course, it could be a book, it could be a mastermind or a conference. There are gaps that every single one of us have. Expertise, knowledge that we need to gain in order to get to the next stage of growth for ourselves. So what I want you to do is set aside time every week to actually invest in yourself, not just in your clients. You're spending an incredible amount of time investing into your clients' work, an incredible amount of time investing into your clients' relationships, but you're not spending and putting the attention on yourself that allows for you to be a better agency owner, a better leader, a better consultant, that allows for you to be the best that you possibly can be. And largely in a highly competitive market that has become incredibly commoditized, your differentiator is the amount of knowledge that your agency has and the better that you are able to make yourself every single day. So set aside that time and invest in yourself. Okay, so now you know the habits that you need to develop to run a 7-figure agency. But how do you actually get there? What are the actionable steps that you need to take to hit $1 million a year? Check out this video next to find out how.